3, 2, 1, lift off. Alright, that's pretty peppy. Let's go down to 1/3 on these engines. Now, when I talked about speed profile, what I was talking about was you want to basically hit 200 meters per second when you hit 10,000 meters. Just a really good rule of thumb, because if you go much faster than that, what you're doing is you're pushing too hard against the atmosphere and wasting fuel. Alright, these are burning pretty quickly on this flight. So we'll get us up to, I'm guessing 4,000 meters. That saves us fuel here because we're burning very lightly on these engines. Maybe 5,000. So we've hit 100 meters per second at 3,500. That's a pretty good velocity. Alright, ready to stage. Throttle up. Stage. Alright, these are pushing hard. We're actually slowing down just a little bit, but as the fuel burns off, we'll start accelerating again. There we go. Speed back up. So we'll definitely stay below 200 at 10,000 meters. And because we're kind of weak, I'm going to keep this vertical until we reach 15,000 meters. When you have a low thrust-to-weight ratio, you want to go a little more vertically. If you have a good thrust-to-weight ratio, you want to go a little more horizontal and go ahead and get that horizontal velocity early. Okay, let's start tipping it over. It's wobbly a bit. Let's do halfway and let the prograde catch up to us a little bit. You're always more efficient when you're burning as close to prograde as possible. Alright, it's caught up to us. Let's lean it over to 45. Tap F just to burp the SAS. Let's see what our flight is looking like over here. Looking pretty good. We're almost to space already. So I may have actually overpowered this a bit. We can go up to 85. And then... so we did that one. We can discard that now. Let's go ahead and clear these while we're waiting to get up to Apoaps. Very good. And of course we have to wait on that one. We're doing this big moon mission. Let's take a look at we're 92 tons. 83 parts. Not too bad. Alright, we're in space. A minute out from Apoaps, so it's taking a bit of effort to turn this sucker. We only have the reaction wheel on the capsule turning this whole monstrosity over. We'll just... these have gimbals, so if we put the engine on... okay, now we're over, start slowing down. Give this thing full... whoop. I got full thrust with my finger on the D key, and it just tilted me right over. There we go. Now we're actually going the direction we want to go. Looks like we will burn these out before we achieve orbit, which is fine. These will crash back in the Kerbin and not leave debris. We're pretty close to orbit. But let's cut engines and catch back up with the Apoaps and circularize from there. Alright, a little more. Okay, we are in orbit. It's a little wonky, but that's fine. That will not affect us whatsoever. Okay, we are going to the moon. Set that as a target. Setting node 0.4, that's fine. Anything close is okay. The moon is exactly on the equator of Kerbin. So it's always a good thing to use to line up your inclination. Anyway, okay, so for getting to the moon, what you want to do is we're actually right at the right place. It takes about 860 meters per second to reach moon's orbit. We're actually ahead of where we need to burn. So we can do that. And work on this. There's our intersect. Now, the thing to keep in mind is because we're coming up to it from a lower orbit, when we get there, we'll be going slower than moon. So what happens is it will kind of like pass us on the outside, and to get in what's called a prograde orbit, we want to come in underneath, and that way it'll pass us on the outside and then kind of whip us around this way, which matches Moon's spin. Moon is tidally locked to Kerbin, so it's not a big deal with Moon as it is with the Minmus or other moons and planets, but I'll talk about that in more detail in later episodes. But essentially, for getting to Moon and Minmus, if you want a prograde orbit, you want to come in beneath them. And that means when you're burning this, as soon as you get the encounter, you're on the correct side. If you keep burning, you'll end up on the incorrect side, or the retrograde side. So anyway, we need to go around one orbit to get to this marker. So let's go ahead and speed up to 50 times. Alright, 46 seconds, I think we can get it all with our big engine here. Yeah, we have more than enough fuel in this tank. So let's go ahead and get on the blue marker. Again, it's really struggling because all I have is just the... Let's actually keep an eye on our electricity. We have a solar panel zone. We're on the sun side, so we're fine. And start slowing down before we get there. Alright, 46 seconds. 46 seconds out. Go ahead and start burning. Do about a 50% burn. And that way we're half and half on either side. And then, I was talking about last episode, is the maneuver nodes are great for setting up your encounters and burns. But what I'm going to try to teach you is how to rely on your own senses for the last bit of these burns. So let's go ahead and let this get down. Because as you can see, the blue marker is kind of drifting away, but I'm not too concerned about that, and I rarely am, as long as we're holding steady. Okay, we still have plenty of fuel. And this gets down to about the 40 or 50 mark here. Let's cut engines. Let's go to the map view. And let's actually delete the node. Let's watch this as we continue burning. So I'm going to go slow burn. And then you see it approach. And then we hit, as soon as you hit the encounter, stop. Periaps, 565,000. We want to get closer. Let's get down to 100,000. So if we give a little more, see, we're getting closer because we are on the near side, and it's going to whip us around. So as we burn more, we get closer and closer to Moon's orbit, and our periaps falls. So let's burn a little more. Burn a little more. 200,000, 93,000. That's perfect. Let's keep that. Let's speed up along our way here. We're pretty equatorial. If you wanted to fix that, you could fix that at the descending node, burning north or south. And let me try something someone's talking about. Let's get out of warp. If you hit tab, you'll go through all the planets and moons of the solar system. So there's Kerbin, there's Moon. And when you do that, you can see your resultant after the encounter. So here's where we encounter, without it has the no marker. And then the escape has the marker. So we encounter here, and so as you can see, it shows us that we're going counterclockwise, which is the same direction as Moon's very small rotation. And we can see our periaps at 93,000 meters. So using tab is a good way of focusing on the planet and seeing the result of your encounter. If you want to get back to your ship, hit backspace. And now we can take a look at our ship up close. Pretty cool. Camfall's very happy. Alright, so those are a bunch of little tips about flying between planets and moons. Let's go back to map view. Let's speed this up into the encounter. And we are ready for a lot of science. Oh, almost went too fast. As you can see, the moon is catching up to us. And here's the little point where it grabs us and like whips us back around. There we go. Alright, before we start doing anything, let's do the science high over moon. So first, crew report. Space high over moon, 15 science. Let's do an EVA. Let's actually take that crew report out. Take data. And then scroll in. Right click, EVA report. 24 science. Let's go ahead and board. We're saving, remember, we're saving this one for landing, but we can get one of these. High over moon. 75 science. We'll keep that data. We're saving the other one for near orbit around Moon. And we'll get, I should have put goo pods on these. Or at least two, so I can use one close and one far away. Didn't think of that. We'll be coming back, so we can do that later. So I'll save, and I can only do one from the surface and bring it back. So let's go ahead and do one from high over Moon now. Alright, that's 30 science. Okay, now we need to grab this stuff. So EVA again. Let's see, can we reach this goo pod? No, we cannot. So we'll have to hit space to let go. R to activate the jetpacks. And then shift to go up, control to go down. I am still kind of shaky at flying Kerbal, so do not mind me if I mess up here. Okay, collect data. Let's remove the data. Let's sidle over to this Science Junior canister. Go down a bit, left a bit. Collect data. Remove data. And now let's try to get back in. Go down. It's always an awkward position for getting into the ship. Shift to go up, left, forward. Grab. And yep, see, he bounces right off. Hit R again to get control. So if your ship is in a really bad position for you to grab the handle, hit V for camera. Let's go to free camera. And now we can kind of get at a better plane to attack this. Be upside down, but that's fine. Come on in, grab, climb a bit, board with our precious science. Alright, so that's high over Moon. Now we need to do another one near Moon, but we can do that once we achieve an orbit. So let's do that next. Oops, let's do it from that view. Let's kind of spin ourselves to retrograde. Actually, let's do it with a maneuver node. Now tell us where we need to burn. So let's get periaps, add maneuver, retrograde burn. Let's wrap that around, bring it down. 126, 91, 104, 86. Okay, that's close enough. Yeah, because I wasn't right on it, so that's close enough. So now we can tell where we need to be, and we also know we're going to burn 241 meters per second. Always handy to know those numbers. Okay, the very hard, slow spin. We have plenty of electric charge. Still charging fine. Yeah, I overbuilt this ship just a bit, but that never hurts. Well, it does now because of funds. How much did we spend? We had about 500,000. We spent about 100,000 for this mission. And I'll check the cost of this from the save of the ship. I wasn't thinking about it, which is kind of a good thing, which means I had enough funds to not worry about it. Alright, slowly turning around. Alright, then slowly stop. Probably overshoot a bit. Close enough. Let's go ahead and warp our way down. Alright, so now, definitely within Moon's influence now. Okay, let's go ahead and fire this up. There's, I think, where we achieved orbit, that camera's change. Okay, and again, I'm going to go by eyeball. Pretty close to where we need to be. Get back on retrograde. Actually, let's advance to the periaps. Give me just a little burn to give me some control with the gimbaling. And both of them are now below 100,000, which is fine. Actually, no, it's not fine. For near, let me show you. For near science, we need to get closer. Crew report, still high above the Moon. So we do not want to do that. We want to actually keep burning retrograde. And let's drop down to 45 should be good. Now the way to experiment to find the near moon orbit would be to follow this path down, and every 5,000 meters or so, test the crew report. So let's actually do that. So I'm gonna go down below 80. Crew report. High above moon, no good. Go below 75. Alright, crew report. High above the moon, no good. Go below 70. Crew report. High above moon, no good. I know what this number is, but I want to show you guys how to find it on your own in case you're at an unknown moon or planet. Below 60. Crew report. Near moon, okay, so 60 is the number. 15 science. Let's go ahead and get this material bay. 75. We're not doing a goo pod. I'm gonna save that for landing because we'll get a lot more down on the moon. But we will do an EVA in the dark here. Just above moon's east far side crater. Now here's where each EVA above a different biome counts just like it did above Kerbal. So we could actually spam this for a little bit and get quite a bit of science. But for now, I want to go grab that materials bay because we're about to lose this stage. And again, I'm in a really awkward position. I'll have to do free camera to, oops. Kind of doing circles around the ship. Told you guys I was not good at flying Kerbals. Just little tiny presses of the keys. Alright, I think we're close enough. Collect data. Remove data. And now we can get back in the ship. Let's do free camera. Go down. Left. Slow ourselves down. There's our hatch right there. So I know it's kind of dark for you guys. Sorry about that. Down, down. Grab. And board. Oh, what I want to do before I do that is EVA one more time. And let's take all the science out, because that way we'll take the other crew report out as well. And store them all in board again. That way we can do a crew report from the surface. Alright, also let's EVA and see if we're over a different biome now. East far side crater, I think I already have this one. Yeah, board anyway, dump that experiment. I'm not going to worry about those right now. We can do those when we take off again. Let's worry about landing. Map view, we want to land on the sun side, of course. And we're in a good position to do that. Let's land... Let's go and land in this crater. Let's get to retrograde, to the right. Started going to the left, even though I could see that's prograde. And we can use up a lot of the last bit of the fuel in this stage for this. And then we have another stage we probably won't even use, we'll just dump. Alright, here we go, burning. Just very slightly. And then we'll drop it on the far side of that crater. Then when we slow down as we retrograde burn here, we'll land somewhere, hopefully in this flattish area here. Alright, so let's get rid of this unwieldy stage here. Boom. I'm going to use this stage a bit to slow down. And then finally these three engines to actually land. But we need to get to about here somewhere. I'm going to put a marker. This is a good way, even though I'm not going to use this maneuver, it's a good way to tell me when I'm in position. And it's going to start decelerating these warps anyway as I get closer. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's go and dump that. We need to get the retrograde on our own. And then because of the curvature, that's the far side of the crater. It's going to start burning now. We want to cut our surface velocity down as quickly as possible. That's why I forgot to bring lights. Lights are very handy when landing. So anywhere in this corridor looks pretty good right now. Okay, I'm gonna spin myself so that I'm aligning up and down. Okay, let's go ahead. Really burn out this stage. And also... Alright, let's drop that. Let's get our 3 engines working. Let's cut the last of our vertical velocity, or horizontal velocity. Get the retrograde right up and down. So we're going to land somewhere in this plane here, so that's pretty good. I like that. Let's put the landing gear down, G, and usually G a second time. Let's get burning, slow this down. Now kind of keep your velocity in check as you're coming down so you don't have to emergency burn at the last second. Alright, this is enough to slow me down. I want to hit somewhere below. I'm getting a little horizontal velocity though, and that's not good because that means I might bounce. Okay, chasing that marker, we're below. Nice. Alright, and there's our shadow, and we are down. It's tricky landing, you may not do it a few times. I did not quick save. I should have quick saved in orbit. That is my recommendation. Quick save a lot when you're about to make maneuvers like this. Each time you get into a nice safe position, after a successful burn, after a successful landing. In fact, I should quick save right now, so if I botch the takeoff, I'm fine. Okay, so we are on the surface of the moon. So we can do science, so the materials bay. 100 science there, keep that data. Our goo pod that we saved. Nice 40 science there. We can do a crew report, because we took the others out. So another 20 there. We can do an EVA. Let's take all the science out. Store it again. Do an EVA from the ladder, because this is just like on Kerbin. We get a flying EVA when we're on the ladder. And we'll get another one when we're on the ground. So keep that data. Board. That will store that EVA in the capsule. EVA again. Space to let go. R for thrust and let myself down. If you flop down, do not worry. Why isn't my Kerbal turning around? Chase, no one chase, one auto. Oh, because there we go. Because the rocket pack was still on. Okay, so now let's take a few steps out here. We are going to get a glamour shot for the thumbnail. Very good. And we are now going to do science on the surface of the moon. We're going to take a surface sample. 120 science. We are going to do an EVA report. 32 more science. And we are going to plant a flag. Where are we? I always like to write down where we landed. And I forget which one this was. Anyway, site. Moon. Landing 1. We made it. And all that hard work was worth it. Alright, now to try to get back in. Let's kind of reset our camera. Try to get back in this spaceship. Without the extra ladders, it is a little trickier. We can get rid of that. Turn on the rocket pack. Fly up. Fly forward. Up, and grab. Alright, we're going to... camera angle is really weird, but it should fix itself once I board. There we go. Alright, so I have a lot of science. I'm going to grab this one out of here once we get into orbit in the goo pod. So remind me to do that. Okay, we need to take off and go in that direction. So that's the S key. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Go to 90 degrees. Let's kind of look where we're going. take a look at the map. Let's get this up to about 20,000 at least. It's more than high enough to get over any mountains on Moon. There we go. Let's go ahead and fly our way up there. Get a nice shot here for the post-episode montage. Let's fly up to our Apoaps. Let's burn for orbit. And again, we have more than enough fuel. But I kind of overbuilt it, so if you built your ship like this, you'd have plenty of fuel for flying around in case you mess up your approach a couple times. You'll have plenty of fuel to still accomplish a landing. And we have more than enough fuel to get back home. 19 and 21, that's perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and get out. Let's try an EVA report here, see where we're over. Both Moon's Highlands. Go ahead and grab that. We will go ahead and let go. Turn on the RCS pack. And then slide over to the materials bay. Grab its science. And then, is it this one? Okay, that one's dead. I think it's this one. Or I wasn't close enough, maybe in the other option. Whoop, bump your head. Collect data. Okay, that one had it. Alright, so we got all that. So now we can safely leave this behind when we go back to Kerbin. And we won't forget. I always forget stuff like that. Grab. Board. Alright, let's take a look. Let's go over this crater. I think that was the east far side crater. Because you're on the far side, and that's the east. So yeah, I think that was east far side. Okay, looks like we're over that crater now. So let's go ahead and do another EVA report. Let's spam these while the spamming is good. Now we don't have to worry about it later. Plus we can unlock more goodies when we get back home board. Now I do not have all of the biomes memorized. You just know that the craters are of course biomes. There's highlands, lowlands, and midlands. Let's go over here that little bit and see what that is. Midlands, board. Yep, so I think we have highlands and midlands. I do not know where lowlands are. I don't think there's any on the equator, though. Now, we might get a piece of this crater. Let's try that. EVA. Moon's east crater, 24 more sites. Alright, that's board. Take a look, and then since we're going to the dark side, I can't see anything. I'm not going to make you guys try to decipher it all. Let's just plan our maneuver home. Okay, for this purpose, what we want to do is we want to burn in such a way that we are counteracting the Moon's orbit around Kerbin. So we want to end up flying that way, to the left. And to do that, we want to... You'd think burning here, but you want to burn a little ahead of it. And then once it escapes, you'll see that the vector is kind of over there. And see our periaps is 2.8 million. To make this more efficient, we pull this back and make this line as parallel as possible with Moon's orbit. So now we're down to 2.1. And as we do this, and this pretty much is parallel. So now we're down, oh, we're 2.6. So not, I lied a little bit. We do need more. Whoops, I just grabbed the wrong handle. We do need more. Now as we come... I'll make sure I don't grab the wrong thing. Now as we do this, and parallel this to Moon's orbit, we drop down 840,000. Don't mess with this too much, just get it close. We're 27 minutes away, let's zip around. Pretty close to the marker already. Keeping an eye on the time, the clock there, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1, 0... If you overshoot a little bit, this does not matter. This burn does not need to be accurate at all. We just need to slam in the Kerbin, and there are so many ways of doing that. It's ridiculous. Alright, 240 meters per second. That should easily be handled by these engines and the fuel that's in these tanks. Crank it up. close enough. Okay, let's get out of Moon's orbit. Bam, now we're falling towards Kerbin. 800,000 meters, that is too high. Let's get retrograde. And burn some more. Bring that right on down to a collision. Now, anything below 15,000 will assure a capture in Kerbin's atmosphere. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so let's double check things here. Let's go ahead and turn off SAS. We don't need to use that electricity. We've got all our science out of these things. We've done all the crew reports. Let's go ahead and just warp down to Kerbin and see what the results of this mission were. And so we achieved orbit, we've landed, we just have to recover our science from around and on the moon. And we will get tons, and see, we've already got some money back from completing these parts of the mission. Okay, 1,000 times. Yep, there they are. Here comes Kerbin, and we are slamming into the atmosphere. I will see you guys on the ground, and we'll take a look at the results of this mission. Be right back. Okay, we are just about on the ground. Camfall is kind of pleased with himself. Successful landing on another planetary body, or solar system body. Okay, a nice landing. Okay, let's take a look at our funds. Right now it's 454,000. Then we have 42 science. Let's recover this vessel. Now we have 616,000, so we definitely made a profit of about 100,000. And we gained 780 science. That is a lot. And we have 822, because we also gained 42. Yeah, the 42 counted the stuff we gained from the missions. We have 5 of these accomplished. Contract complete. Let's go ahead and run through there. We got a little bit of money back from that. Not much. Crew Camfall's back. Our reputation is going up and up. Okay, let's take a review our contracts. Explore the moon. The main contract, everything. 131,000 and 222 rep. Recover science. We got 30 extra science on top of what we actually brought back. 15,000. Space around the moon, another 30 and 15,000. Land on the moon, 22,000 and 60 rep. And achieve orbit, 15,000 and 60 rep. So we are swimming in funds and science. Let's go see what we can unlock. So we have enough for 9 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can definitely get all these. Let's just go ahead and run down and grab them all. So fuel lines and the little engine. Finally get the big decoupler, plus some adapters. Get some more space plane parts, which always fun. More space plane and control surfaces. So RCS, yeah, definitely the RCS ports are very big. We already had electrics, mobile processing ladders, and a thermometer to get more science. And finally, the landing gear and landing strut for small probes. That leaves us with 282 science, and this tier, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like I've been calling it, and probably other people call it 5, 160 each, so we can get one of these. We need 320 to get both, or 2. So we can get the orange tanks and the mainsail. That could come in handy. We could get the docking port. That is really handy. Hitchhiker storage containers, so we can start making space stations and rendezvousing in orbit with these parts. So these, I'm leaning towards those. We get the advanced grabbing unit for grabbing asteroids and other objects. More spaceplane parts. Big capsule and some other nifty devices, including a couple of the new engines with this. This is a monopropellant engine that acts like a regular engine, and this is a regular engine that acts like a monopropellant engine, so talk about those later. Micro parts, all the small stuff. Bigger solar panels and a bigger battery. Barometer, handy, but only on planets with atmosphere, so we've already gotten most of the science we want from Kerbin, so I'm not really worried about that. A couple extra ladders. Landing strut, and more parachutes. I'm leaning towards... I'm leaning towards this for now. Let's get the docking port and the hitchhiker storage container. And let's take a really quick look at the new contracts. So plant the flag on the moon. Offering to go back, we get 68,000 for that. So if we need to get more science from Moon, we can do that as part of it. Science data from around Kerbin, 31,000. Explore Duna, explore Ike, explore Minmus. Okay, so Minmus is probably the next goal. Rescue. One of the rescues... Yeah, the other rescue timed out, but a new one came up, so that's always a good one. So we could do that and science from around Kerbin. Actually, no, I didn't have this available. I was going to say I should have grabbed the crew report and got this on the way back. Actually, I could have checked this before I came back to see if new missions were available that I could accomplish either while on the moon. So if this popped up while I was there, but it usually pops up after, I think. And then some more tests. We won't go through those in detail. But that is a very successful episode. We're up to 616,000 funds, lots of science, and we are progressing along the way towards completely unlocking the science tree. So next episode, we will take a closer look at those contracts and pick something out. Possibly Minmus, since we already have a ship that we know can do it. Possibly some of the easy ones like the rescue and the science in orbit. But anyway, I want to thank you for joining me for How to Contract in Kerbal Space Program version 0.24. My name is Jim. Have a great day.